The Captain America deep dive is finally here. Thank you guys for being patient with me. I know that I said that I was going to be bringing this out quite some time ago, but finding and building my Captain America is taking a little longer than expected. But I found a better solution. I reached out to the top player in our server who is dominating the Dimensional Duel. So he's ranked #1. He's actually a Captain America, and he's dominating these other top players who currently are having really tough time beating Ghost of Pablo's Captain America. So I got a chance to actually talk to him, and he broke down his build for us. And I also make sure to ask him some questions about free-to-play and low spenders. And what better way of helping out you guys who are also trying to build your Captain America than finding out from a Captain America player who is almost 3 mil in power, who is #1 in Dimensional Duel, who is just dominating with this build. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys take some notes down because it's going to be a long one. It's a deep dive, and we really go pretty deep with this build. So with that being said, enjoy the Captain America deep dive video with Ghost of Pablo. All right, guys, we are here with the one and only Ghost of Pablo. How you doing, man?
How are you?
Good. I'm not gonna lie, I've been seeing your videos, you going up against these top players in the Sakar server, and you're just making it look super easy and just like a breeze. So from seeing your videos that you've been posting on YouTube, I've been wanting to make a video like this with you and kind of just ask you questions and kind of break down your build, because I know, including myself and a lot of my viewers, they would love to see a Captain America guide. I decided to reach out to you, who right now is dominating the PvP in Sakar server. I mean, like, you can look at Ghost of Pablo's video, which I will link down below. He has a channel where he's going up against all these top level players, and he's just winning these matches. And these other players, they're not just some weak players. These are top level players that just smack me around Dark Zone every time I got to see him when I used to do Dark Zone. So to see somebody just really beat these guys on PvP is like, man, this guy's making a name for himself by being a Captain America and showing us exactly what Captain America can do. So I guess my first question to you would be, is I kind of want to break down the what are like the set, your gear set that you're using, and kind of like why you went with the gear set that you're using right now.
I really why I kind of settled with ROE was because I came up using a Midgardia for my regional, and it has a vibranium release, so I'm pretty used to that move set in PvP, and our hardest hitting move is a vibranium release move, so I just stuck with that, and it's what I pulled more of. So you kind of got to work with what you get. Everything that I've put my resources, my time, my money into has been geared towards PvP, so that's all I'm really geared towards. In PvE, it's just kind of, the content's too easy, so I don't worry about that. And in PvP, the stats I'm looking for most was defense pierce. Don't really know about defense pierce the way they should, but it's a very important stat for PvP. PvE, not so much. It's kind of useless because you want to do 100% of your damage when you're landing.
So defense pierce is one of your like once a stat that you want to make sure you have on your gear.
Once I started working on building that stat, my game changed in PvP, especially against like you said, a lot of those top players. They've been beating me up for a long time, and there's certain stats that really help just deliver all the damage, and that's a big one for me, was defense pierce.
So besides defense pierce, what other stat are you looking for?
Accuracy helps a lot too. Like you said, when you get up against the top players, most of them are Spider-Man. He's a really easy, friendly character to play. You don't really gotta, especially in PvP, he's really hard to hit. Hits you really hard. Accuracy helps, but at the cost of accuracy, you're gonna give up some crit damage in those slots. Crit rate, crit damage, which is important, but if you're not landing your hits, the damage doesn't really matter. So you got to get, especially as a Captain America, we don't have accuracy potential, so you got to find it any way you can. The chest piece, the 1 and 2 badge slots, that's where you're going to get most of it from.
Okay, so when it comes to the chest piece, you want to make sure you get accuracy rate on the chest piece.
At least 2 rolls. If you don't have 2, 3 rolls, you're going to be trying to switch that later on down the line, and it's going to cost you a lot of material.
Clearly, you're not free to play. Do you consider yourself a whale?
Yeah.
Okay. The majority of people that watch my content are more on the free to play, low spenders. Now, what gear set would you guide people that are free to play or low spender towards? Like what non-regional or regional you think that they should go for?
Tell everybody, even free to play, don't invest in non-regional gear, because especially now the game is giving out regionals every
Mm-hmm.
now and then. Like
That's
last
true.
month we got all those boxes. So this game, especially if you're free to play, it's what's going to reward you is the long game, planning ahead a little bit, because you don't want fodder is so hard to come by. You don't want to waste fodder 6 starring non-regional gear. You're just going to get to a point where you've sandbagged yourself, you've wasted your materials. So I would just always save for the regional. And the two school of thoughts that regional goes for Captain America is Dark Domain, which is a vibranium absorption, and Midgardia. So those are kind of your two options.
Okay.
I went with Midgardia because I like the release skills, but there's no wrong answer in that department. Your playstyle is just going to change a little bit in PvP.
Okay. So if you are free to play or a low spender, aim for Megardia or Dark Domain for Captain America, right?
Those are our PvP sets.
PvP sets. Okay. Now, when it comes to your gauntlet, what do you have for your gauntlet? What kind of stats should they be trying to aim for when they're going for their shield?
I would say defense, crit damage decrease, guard damage decrease. Anything else, dodge rate, is kind of wasted on PvP now, especially with everybody building accuracy for Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And status, effect, resistance, not really. I feel like that's a pretty wasted stat too. So defense, crit damage decrease, and guard damage decrease, I'd say it'd be the big three to you'd want to prioritize.
What about your boots?
In a perfect world, I would take HP all the way down the line. Cooldown decrease is always nice, but just the big one I try to avoid is ultimate gauge recovery on Cap, because it's kind of useless in PvP. I've never once used my ult in a Dimensional Duel,
Mm-hmm.
so it's just a wasted stat line, but it is what it is.
If you were to get perfect stats, perfect rolls on your boots, what would they be?
Probably take a 3 HP and cooldown decrease. Maybe
Okay.
those. Stamina recovery is good too, but you can get that on your badges, so it just seems easier to get down here, which I already have pretty good stamina recovery on both of these bad boys.
Now for the badges, like your battle badges, it looks like you're rocking a mixture of this invasion and last invasion, right? You got that. I see some Magneto badges and then the Thanos badges.
I decided, just because it costs so much to get these badges, I did 3 and 3 and actually got lucky and ended up able to make a 4th Thanos badge, but I was rocking 3 Magnetos and 3 Thanoses, just because it seemed like it'd be easier to hit that goal rather than get caught in the middle of trying to do, six of them all and have them all be 1 star or 2 star. I did 3 6 stars from one and 3 6 stars from the other.
What do you have for yours first badge?
That's another thing too. I've noticed a lot of people don't really, they follow the red dots, and I know a lot of us launch players, we know
Oh
this.
yeah.
If you follow the red dots and what they tell you to equip, you're not always going to get the most power out of it. I don't mean power as in the number, but actually, power that does work. Like if I had a badge that had 5 rolls of attack, the game would tell me to put that on, but you don't want that. You want crit rate and crit damage. And if you need accuracy, these are the slots you'll get your accuracy from too.
From the slots would be the first and the second one, right?
1 and 2.
Yeah. So accuracy can only land on the first or second battle badge slot. Okay, so you're showing us the second one, and you have 2 attack, some critical damage. So, okay, so you're really looking for critical rate and critical damage, right?
For my stat priority on these 2 slots, it's crit rate first over everything, because if you don't have enough crit rate, then the crit damage isn't going to matter at all. It's just a wasted stat line.
It's min-maxing, right? Is what when you look at your chart that shows all your stats, there you'll know where you kind of need to go, right? Like let's just say you look at your accuracy, you have already maxed out accuracy. So if you get another badge that has more accuracy, you can switch that badge for another one because you still will be maxed out, right?
Yeah, I got my character set up to where all my accuracy comes from my chest piece and I guess companion collection, probably a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I can take all my badges off right now and my accuracy won't move. So
Nice.
I made it to where I don't have to worry about accuracy at all with my badges. Like that's covered. Don't ever
Okay.
got to worry about it again.
I just wanted to say that because that's very important because there's people that try to get accuracy on those 1 and 2 badges, and there's other ways to do it. Kind of like you got all your accuracy without having to use your first or second badge slot.
It's easier that way too, because when you get it all sorted out, because having stats all over the place in 3 different areas, and then you move one thing and it throws it all off. That I've ran into that too, and it's a pain. So
Yeah,
it's nice to just get stuff sorted out and set to where everything's in one place where you need it, instead of
exactly.
having everything in 3 different places.
How much time have you invested in just min maxing, like moving stuff around and just being like, oh, that might not work, so then moving? How much time have you spent doing that?
Way too much. Like
Yeah.
probably the last 4 months or so, kind of when I started putting everything together for my special costumes, is when I really started messing around with all that, and it's been tough. It consumes a lot of gold, but
Mhm.
I've gotten there pretty good.
I've seen a lot of top level players do that. And that's one thing I noticed is they spend a lot of time min maxing. Is that the correct term? Min maxing?
That's what I've heard it called, so that's I go by.
And yeah, min maxing is when you're doing that. You're just moving stuff around, making sure that everything is kind of like what was synergy, where it just connects. That's how it is, like a puzzle. You have to move stuff around, then it would actually end up being better. But the worst thing you can do is follow the red dot.
Yeah, the red dot will lie to you always.
So did you show the third badge? So for your third badge, you were using the Magneto. What badge set would you recommend for somebody like that is starting this game and they love their cap and they want to build cap, but obviously it's going to take some time to do the special invasion badges? What badge would they do in Blitz?
Teams, whatever the top
Top,
list badges
just
are,
whatever
those
the
are
top.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was rocking until the Magneto. I was actually using 115 badges with my Magneto still.
Oh, okay.
I just probably a month and a half ago, got rid of some good 115s. But at the end of the day, you got to go with what the best role is.
Hmm.
If you got a badge with really good rolls, and you should use it. And the Blitz badges are really good. Like I'm kind of souped up with all these now because I'm at the top fighting all these other
Yeah.
whales. But there's nothing wrong with the 115 badges as long as
Yeah.
they got the rolls you need. If it's got the stats you need and it's the best thing you have, you got to use it. Because those dark zone badges and all that stuff, man. Good luck. Good luck getting a good one of those. I never have.
Now, I want to look at your Omega cards. I want to see what you're rolling with. Now, it's not easy to get special cards when you're a free to play or a low spender. Even though I've gotten at least 3 as free to play, and Juicy has gotten a good amount of special cards as a low spender. You're rocking a full set of specials. Now, I kind of want to go over these and have you explain why you went with these. But then after that, I want to ask you, what set would you recommend that are non-special that somebody can try to aim for to farm? But we'll start off with what you're rocking with now and kind of let me know why you went with this full set.
I mean, like I told you earlier, I'm all PvP. Everything that I've put my time and money and gold resources into, it's all PvP stuff. So I just try to get the best PvP stats. You wanna get the PvP increase and decrease stat caps. Like if you're a PvP player, that's important. You got to do that. Your game will change. So every one of these cards helps get those PvP stats that I need. Once again, some defense pierce. And if you got and then once you get, like we're talking about min maxing, then once you get to a point where you're set, okay, I got all my PvP stats, then you can start getting stuff like critical damage decrease on cap. That's probably our best exclusive in my opinion. And if you don't need that PvP stat,
Critical
it's
damage.
great right there. Like right there, 1, 2, 3, boom. My critical damage decrease, I think it's like 180, which they just raised the cap a little bit ago. A lot of people didn't notice that too. It's now 200%. So
Oh, okay.
that's
I
a
didn't
big
know
game
that.
changer. Yeah, yeah. See, people don't read the notes sometimes, or they just
Yeah.
miss those small details. But going from 100% to 200% is huge. Special cards, or they got that extra roll.
So critical damage. So if you're watching this video and you have critical damage in a card that you thought wasn't that good, it turns out that it's actually a very valuable stat to roll. But the main thing you want to aim first is trying to hit those PvP damage decrease and PvP damage increase, right? And then the second would be critical damage decrease.
I mean, and there's other builds you could go with cap too, like some people like guard damage and all that stuff. But For PvP, the main priority you should be going for is the PvP damage decrease and increase. Getting that cap, you can have a little more fun and flexibility with other stats.
What non-special cards that people can farm would you recommend people to go for?
The ones before I got had all these special cards because I didn't have a full set of these probably until a few months ago, and I finally got it down. But the one I used before was this Loki set with because they got the critical damage, and you can get the defense one too, which plays into one of our specializations, gives us a percentage of attack. And I rocked these two for a long time together. These two sixes. That was my favorite set until I got the room to work with special cards.
So you would recommend people to farm for the Loki set.
Kill Loki and what's his name, Malekith, I think. They both drop these.
So you would want to focus on farming Loki and Malekith, and they could be found in Midgardia, the Cursed Forest right there. Yeah, if you're watching, if you just click on that, it'll take you there. I want to see now your skills. Like, what skills are you using? This one, I think, is going to be a lot of people will have questions about this one.
There's a few that I move through because at the top, like when you start fighting other players who are, whales, and they've put just as much time as you into their characters, and you fight Spider-Man, Iron Man, whoever. I have a couple different skill setups for different types of characters that just help me in the fight. But this one, Unbreakable Will, Neutralization, this is one of the new ones we just got updated that hits them with the silence, which is good for hitting Iron Man's and Spider-Man when they're doing they got their cooldown buff, or whatever Spider-Man does to you.
Yeah.
Lowers your accuracy and stuff, moves around. This is a good one. It's quick, low cooldown, doesn't hit the hardest, but you can fire it off more and it hurts them a lot. I like this one. The bleed, pretty much every Captain America uses this on everything because it plays into our specialization that adds 30% more damage to bleeding targets.
Okay.
You
have that as your number one, so that's what you start off with. Are they in order?
They probably could be, but I kind of play a little wild, so I don't always go in order. But yeah, you would want to open up with this one probably because if you land the bleed, that's going to give you the most damage. But it just kind of depends what other people are doing because we got our iframe now too, which cancels some of the other people's moves that they're hitting you with. So you could open up with that. You could open up with the bleed, but the bleed doesn't always land, so it doesn't always matter a ton to me anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, I see that one right there.
This is what I was talking about. Why I'm still rocking the ROE and why I use Midgardia, because this is our hardest hitting move, and to me it's all about just doing the most damage. So if you end the fight quick, then you don't got to worry about getting hit no more. So I just play into this move a lot because this one hits once or twice and usually the fight's over.
I was not using that one.
Yeah, this is the one right here.
Yeah. Okay. And for your fifth?
This one right here, I just kind of started using it. I'm not a big fan, but it is when I run Ultron too. He's pretty much my primary summon for the companion, and you can go into the fight, take a little damage, hit your Ultron, pop your recovery, and then by the time Ultron goes away, your health is pretty much back up, and your opponent's like, oh, what the hell just happened? It works really good if you pop this while your Ultron's up and you have taken some damage. It'll heal you right back up.
Oh, that's actually smart. Pop your Ultron and then use this right after, and it'll heal you right back up. This, which kind of leads me to my next question. But before we get into the companions, I want to ask you, this set, this is a set that you use in PvP? I mean, in Dimensional Duel? And would it work in Omega War?
Yeah, it works in Omega War too. I feel like you kind of lose a little bit because you got the crystals that can heal you up, and healing yourself on top of the crystals is a little bit of an overkill and a waste of space, I think. So I usually go with for Omega War, I'll use this one right here, the Captain's Provocation, which it provokes, so it locks them in. It'll make you use a dodge or whatever you got to use. And then if you got a Hulk too, so you got a provoke on a provoke on a provoke, and it locks people down and they get really frustrated with it.
Also, in Omega War, it's good to use the Hulk with it?
I do, yeah, just because everyone's using Hulk. I use Hulk. He'll lock people in, and he just plays into our provokes really well too, because Hulk's got his provoke, you got your provoke, and then I switched that neutralization move up with this one because this is another provoke. So I have 2 provokes plus my Hulk, so that's just a lot of you not going anywhere if you're fighting,
Yeah.
And then that spin I told you, so you provoke into the spin, and that's a lot of trouble for him.
Now, what about your PVE? Like if you're doing, do you have your own set for PVE?
For PvE cap, you want to change up your specializations altogether too, because Cap really does better with hand-to-hand PvE. His hand-to-hand skills, like his punches and stuff, they do way more damage. I don't really, like I said, I'm not a big PvE guy, but you want to change a lot more for PvE cap, like from your specialization.
Since you're already in specializations, might as well, let's look into what you're using. And this is for your PvP, right? So these are the skills that you use that you would recommend for somebody to aim for if they want to do good for in PvP. What would you go for first?
The first one I'd go for would be this one right here, to convert all our defense, or not all of it, but 30% of defense into attack. That's, it's still attack, which isn't the most important stat, but you're kind of doubling down because you're getting defense and attack. So
I know a lot of people have a question about this one. Does that mean that, let's just say I have 100% defense, and if I use this, does that go down to like 70% defense, but my attack increases? Or does my defense stay at 100%?
Is whatever your defense is, that's your defense. So you're kind of doubling down on one stat. Like my defense is probably right now 28k, 29k. So 30% of that number is also converted to my attack. So I have defense and attack. It doesn't take away from your defense at all. It just it's giving you, it's kind of like doubling down on one stat,
Perfect. Yeah, I had that question as well, but I've also seen that question being asked, and it's good to finally add an answer to that. I know a lot of people think that it takes away defense, but it doesn't. It basically adds 30% of defense once you're maxed out level 10, and it just increases your attack. Okay, so that would be the first one you would aim for. What would be the second one?
The bleed, probably. I'd say the increased damage dealt to bleeding targets.
Okay.
That's my weakness, because I mean, like I was saying, you open up with that attack usually anyway, so 30% is that's a pretty big chunk of damage to be getting extra from,
Yeah, and then for the third one,
yeah, charisma. We're capped, so we're trying to build tanky, and we're trying to survive and sustain fights. And the number one rule of any game, if you're dead, you can't do any damage. So this right here just gives you way more survivability.
And then last but not least,
tactics, regroup. This one used to be broken, but they fixed it, I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 months ago, so that it works. But that's another one that plays into the vibranium release. And if that thing's charged up and you hit people, they're gonna feel it.
Oh, okay. Now, if you did PvE, would any of this change?
Yeah, like I said, I think people want to put, usually for if they're doing PvE cap, they put on hand-to-hand, because that damage, that does a lot of damage too, but it doesn't track so well in PvP, so it's kind of useless for PvP. But those prime bosses and stuff that are just sitting still, the hand-to-hand moves work a lot better, and they do a lot of damage too.
So for PvE, you would recommend putting that one in, but which one would you take out from the set that you have?
Probably I'd take this one out. Decrease damage, because you got health pots and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That one might not be a little so useful if you're just going for straight damage output, because this game doesn't really reward tanking or healing or anything. It rewards killing things. That's kind of how I would look at it. I could be wrong, but that's just my school of thought.
All right, now I want to kind of look into your companions and see what you're rolling with. And I see that you're rolling with Ultron. And why do you use Ultron?
Like, I use Ultron because, like I said, he being able to shield up and heal, that's really nice. And he was really easy to if you want to talk about free to play or low spending, he's a really easy companion to get, because especially if you haven't passed Dormammu for the first time,
you're right.
You'll get 30 Ultron shards every time you clear Dormammu. And I was lucky enough, before they updated that, I cleared Dormammu with my main, and then before we got Dark Domain 2, I was like, there's no reason to even bother clearing it with anybody else. And then once Dark Domain 2 hit, I took all my ults through it, and I got those 30 shards per ult, so that was a ton. So he's super free to play friendly for those that they're not wailing.
Yeah.
And his summon skill plays right into all the HP we have. Any summon that gets a boost off all the HP, to me that just makes sense for Cap. And he also, his bonus stats, crit damage, which that's awesome.
That's your bread and butter right there, right?
Yeah, I still think he's probably the best summon in PvP right now, especially Dimensional Duel.
Oh, okay.
And hands down, like everybody from top whales down to whoever, I see everybody using Ultron.
Hey, there we go. If you're watching this and you're in Captain America main, or you're thinking of building your Captain America, aim in companion wise, aim for Ultron. And every time you defeat Dormammu, you get 30 Ultron shards. So you can defeat Dormammu with each of your ults. And with Wanda coming into the game, you can do that 10 times. So besides Ultron, who else do you have? I see you have War Machine.
War Machine, and especially if free to play low spenders, you kind of got to work with what you. It's not so easy to just target like I want this, I want that. You got to work with what you get, and I was lucky. Like War Machine, he was kind of my closest to getting 6-star anyway, so it just played right into what I needed. And as caps, most of our attacks we're gonna be in close. We got to run in on you, so we're gonna be close to them. They're gonna be close to us. So his bonus effects, they're perfect for cap too. I look at these bonus effects a lot more than I look at any of these stats.
Oh, okay. So the first thing you look at is the bonus effect, and then before you look at the fixed effects.
Because this stuff goes a lot further than
That's true.
these are all those numbers that'll make your power look cool, but
Mm-hmm.
these are the type of stats that make you do a lot more work.
Yeah. Now I see up Vision. Why'd you roll with Vision for the
Again,
critical?
man, critical damage decrease. That's huge. And he was, I think, the last banner or a banner or two ago. I didn't really have anything to wail out on, and I was close to getting him 6-star, and I decided to finish it. And man, I got some lucky pulls, so it just worked out. And
Yeah.
like I said, crit damage decrease, that's one of my favorites. And rage damage decrease, especially, it helps out against like those Iron Man and in Omega War when you got everyone raining down on you from the sky. That range damage, it goes a long way too.
What about Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider's just one where I kind of had him close to 6-stars too, and was like, I might as well, because he gives a little bit of boost to defense and attack. Everybody, you just got to kind of work with what you got and put the pieces together. And of my special companions, who else do I got 6-stars? Like she doesn't really help me much. I'm not worried about moving that fast. So just Ghost Rider made more sense than Cersei.
Now, the reason why I'm asking him about all these, and yeah, I know they're all 6-star, is only to show you what he's capable of. Like, you obviously, if you're free to play or a low spender, you go with what you got. Aim for Ultron because you can actually get a good amount of Ultron shards by just beating Dormammu with each of your ults. But the other three, just go with what you got. But this is like to show you, if let's just say if you do have a little bit of money and you're gonna spend, which one you should like try to aim for or something like that. Well, obviously you can't choose, but it's just kind of to show you guys what you're capable of, what he went with.
Yep. And when you're gonna spend money too, like that's a lot of people, they just pull the pool. Don't do that. Especially if you're gonna spend money, make your money count, man. Like wait till a banner comes up that's like something you need. If you're just pulling a pool, you're gonna slow yourself down, not targeting what you need.
Exactly. I mean? And even though he's a whale, he still has that mindset of trying to be, basically kind of like you have to be smart, you have to be stingy with some stuff. I mean, obviously, I bet you there's probably some people that play the game that don't care. They just throw money at the game. But if you are smart with it, I mean, look at Juicy Fruit. That guy spent under, $250? And his Spider-Man is turning heads. And to the point where people think that he's, lying about how much he spent. But that just goes to show being smart and using your resources when there's banners. If you're going to spend money, do it the smart way, and you can actually go way farther than what you normally could.
Yep, patience. It's all about patience, because I know people. I mean, I don't know for a fact. I don't really worry about what other people spend, but I've heard stories of people spending way more than I have, and just to be sitting in regional gear, you know what I mean? And that's, that'd be a bummer to me. You should pull on the things you need.
Yeah.
Don't just pull the pool, especially if you're gonna spend your money, you're gonna waste your money on something silly like this. Make it count. Yeah, he's definitely not the most free to play friendly, for sure. Takes a lot of like fine tuning and tweaking, but once you get him like rocking and rolling, and the game too, the game now is more free to play friendly than it's ever been. So it's not the worst time for Cap compared to launch. Like,
yeah,
I'm the type of guy where I picked Cap just because everyone said how how unmeta he was.
Yeah.
At launch, everybody hated him, said he was terrible, and I went straight for him. I'm that kind of person.
Let's look at your rank. You pop that up. So right now in Dimensional Duel, he's number 1, and he's at rank 295. I mean, that's the squad rank, but he's rank 1 in Dimensional Duels. And let me look at your Omega War. 8 in Omega War. Oh, Juicy Fruit's number 4. What?
Killing it.
Yeah.
Not a ton of Captain Americas up here.
Yeah. Pretty cold up there, being all alone.
Yep. That's what I tell people all the time. Like, if you're gonna go with, if you want a free to play, nice, easy, fun character, like, I'd go Spider-Man. But if you want hard mode, take Cap. Think like a free to play, and then spin, grind like everybody else, and you'll get on top. That's the secret. You gotta do it all right. You can't just do one thing one way. You gotta clear it across the board if you want to roll with some of these top players. They're doing all the same stuff too.
Number 1. What about your like, just for the power for Cap elite rankings?
Elite rankings.
Oh yeah. So this is goes to Pablo, ranked number 1 in Dimensional Duel, ranked number 1 in the elite rankings. Oh man, thank you for coming and taking time out of your day to come in here and kind of like talk with me and help me make this video, because it's going to help a lot of people. And there's not that many Captain America builds. And I wanted to bring you on, make a video to show people that are trying to build their Cap. You also have a YouTube channel. And where can people find you?
Ghost of Pablo on YouTube, just all one word, just like the name. I post, PvP clips mostly, just kind of silly stuff, goofy stuff, but it's all just straight up PvP with the best players in Sakara's server. So go ahead and check it out. Appreciate you having me on. Yeah,
man, no problem. And if you guys go to his video, I'll have that link down below. You guys can see him going up against other top level. And if you are in Sakar, you know these other people that he's facing, and you know how good they are as well. Because these people, they're not like, rookies or anything. These people are really, really good players that built their builds good as well. But Ghost of Pablo is just making it look easy out there. And I kind of wanted to make a video and also touch up on how he would approach if he was free to play or a low spender, what kind of gear. And we went through all that, and hopefully this video helped you guys out. So there you guys have it. That was the deep dive with Ghost of Pablo and his beautiful build, Captain America. And I hope that you guys learned a lot from this video. And don't forget, I'm going to put chapters in here. That way you guys can come back later and quickly go to the area that you need most information or help in. And I hope that this video answers a lot of these Captain America questions. And I just want to say thank you to Ghost of Pablo for taking time to sit down with me through Discord chat and break down his build. So make sure you guys like and subscribe and comment down below. Who do you want to see next for the deep dive, and who do you guys want me to reach out to so we can sit down and make a deep dive video? That way people for that certain hero can learn to build that hero to its max potential. So like the video. I'll catch you guys next time.